Welcome to EthanLive podcast. Today is Tuesday, September the 9th. It is a beautiful day outside today.
Yeah, it is. And I'm
Weather
back.
is good. And I looked
Yeah.
at the weather, like the extended forecast, and in a couple days, we're going to get another 6 days of straight up 90-degree weather.
Oh, are we? I didn't look that far.
So just when you think maybe the summer's gone, it's coming back.
Oh, with a vengeance, huh?
Sorry, Ethan is trying to eat some snacks that were right there by the.
Oh,
buddy.
Okay. Well, I'm back in my home studio, as you can see.
Okay. Yeah, you're back. You're back from being your
a roving reporter.
Today is International Sudoku Day. You like Sudoku?
Yes, I do. I do.
I kind of like.
Yeah.
I kind of like
with
Sudoku.
numbers. Yeah.
Care Bears Share Your Care Day.
Okay.
Emergency Services Day. International Box Wine Day. National When Pigs Fly Day. And Teddy Bear Day.
Oh, okay.
So everyone can celebrate accordingly. We just wanted to jump on and give a few updates on a couple cases, a couple things that were going on. I'm trying to pull up. Here we go. No, that's not it. I was trying to pick. Oh, here we go. Our list of people here. We want to start with a couple people that we got a few updates with. Like Monday when you made a few phone calls. We want to start with those folks.
Sure. Want to start? Yeah. I think we should start with the fact that we have another person that has been sentenced for torture of an animal, so of a dog or a cat. So
yes, he was sentenced to 3 years.
Yes, his name is Paul Bruton. He was actually, he was one of the very first ones. So I don't think at the time, he kind of slid under my radar anyway, because he's in Barron County. And it started like last September was when he was arrested. So it's been a year.
Yeah. And I just put the link to the podcast in the comments if anybody wants to click the link and join us. I believe that is the correct link. So yeah, he was sentenced to 3 years. Will probably. It seemed like he had a violent offense towards a human.
Yes.
So hopefully he'll serve 85% of that sentence.
Yeah. When I found that website that actually shows where a person's incarcerated, that's an interesting website. But it showed that he got 3 years for torture and he got 4 years for the assault on the roommate. The roommate is who called in to let the police know.
And so he assaulted the roommate?
He had tried to stab the roommate with the knife first. And then when the roommate called, he said he had stabbed the dog multiple times. But he would not. This is what was sad at the beginning. I thought the roommate, who was a male, did not want to press charges at first against him. He wanted them just to take it on the torture charge because he was afraid that it said he was afraid that the Paul Bruton would come after him. So
sounds like a wonderful dude.
Yeah, doesn't he though? Yeah. So, but at least, he's incarcerated and should be there. I think I forgot, I looked on there once. He's not up for parole for till I think the beginning sometime of next year. But since it's 2 felony charges here, maybe he won't get out. We'll just hope. So
yeah.
And the remains, I thought it was very sad too, but I guess it's just part of what happens in court. The remains of the dog were kept as evidence, obviously. So they were finally, the person I spoke to made a point of telling me that they finally had released those remains to somebody. So
good. So we got Paul Bruton down there, who a good conviction. That was Barron County.
Yeah, that's Barron County, Glasgow.
And we have a Antonio Attaway, who's going to be in Christian County with who is our second Christian County person tomorrow. Um,
Oh, let's see.
oh shoot, what was his name? Was just on the tip of my tongue.
Are you talking about Gmail trip or we've got a couple in
No, Gmail's coming up beginning of
Hartwig, Martin Hartwig.
Martin Hartwig. That's him. Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're he's got they both had a court date tomorrow, but Attaway's got moved. He's got an arraignment now on the
Yes.
torture charge.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. I went through a lot to find out. He's been charged with a lot of he has a lot of ongoing cases. Let's just say it like that. So there was some confusion about which one was the torture charge, but it is now a torture charge. I have the case number that he's been charged. He's the one, he left the dog in the car, and the dog died later or after being
Yeah.
left in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he claimed that someone else was taking care of that. He left the dog there for somebody else to take care of the dog or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. So yes, he will be in district court on the 24th. So
But and that's an arraignment.
yeah. Hmm.
But that's district court. But with this criminal charge, that should be a felony. It should be in circuit court.
I know. I don't quite understand sometimes. When we go through these cases, for example, Martin Hartwig is in circuit court.
Right.
I don't quite understand sometimes. I've asked some questions too over which court, but he is in district court is what it says. But it is as a torture.
Hello. How are you? Uh-oh. She
Where'd
jumped up.
she go?
Oh, I don't know. She left.
She came in for a very short
Came in
time.
hot.
Nice seeing you, Heather.
Yeah, good to see you for a second, Heather. Okay. So, and then Gmail Tribble is coming up in, that is October, I think.
Yes, he's October the 1st. He was indicted. And so he, of course, has another arraignment. These arraignments just kind of go on and on and on.
Yeah.
But, that's obviously the process. So, yes, he's been indicted and will be arraigned again October the 1st. So,
Okay.
yeah.
What is our, oh, shoot, I just saw his name on here. We need to follow up, and maybe you did, uh, our Scott County, Chesney Taylor. And
I have called and called and called on Chesney Taylor. As you can see, I don't have anything there because they keep telling me that they're awaiting the grand jury to be called. And I'm like, how long does it take a grand jury to be called in Scott County?
seriously,
So,
and we
yeah,
need to get, and let's put, what was her boyfriend's name? CJ Barnett, Christian Barnett.
yeah,
Let,
yeah.
we'll make sure we get
I
him on.
need to add him. Yes. I don't think he was charged. I think that's why he's not, I don't know that he was charged with a felony. So,
Ooh.
but I'll double check. So
I did hear back. We were talking the other day about the Mercer County stuff.
yeah,
I did hear back from someone with Mercer County, and I don't want to say who that was because I meant to ask him before we got off the phone if I could tell them who I was talking to, and I didn't. So I don't want to. I don't want to say it. But anyway, here's what I found out. Uh, right or wrong, these were the reasons that were given for Gabrielle Fomer,
yes.
who pled guilty to charge felony drug charge and 29 counts of animal cruelty. The one torture charge was dropped because it was found out that particular dog that they were charging with torture was not her dog. It
Okay.
was actually Amanda Kuntz's dog.
Okay.
It was her personal dog.
Okay.
And so they are pursuing the felony torture charge on Amanda Kuntz because this dog was not Gabrielle Fomer's dog. I did ask about why she had 29. If all the dogs were in the same place and it was
Yeah.
called sort of a kennel, and
Right.
to my knowledge, what was told to me was Mercer County doesn't really have a kennel, and so this was sort of a setup at Karen Aubrey's house, who was the former president of
Of the
Mercer County
humane.
Humane Society.
Yeah.
Um, and apparently, it housed some people's personal dogs and some dogs from the shelter.
Right.
All of them living in deplorable conditions. The conditions they were living in were deemed to be second degree animal cruelty.
Hmm.
They felt like they were maybe not on the right amount of basis getting food and water. Definitely not being cleaned like it should have been. Um, and so they deemed that this was deemed that would be second degree animal cruelty, that there was an attempt to take care of these animals. There just wasn't, they just weren't good at it. And the particular dog that passed away that they're now charging Amanda Kuntz with had some other issues, some really bad infections and some other issues that she was intentionally not taking the dog to get
Okay.
care from the vet for. So that's
Okay.
why they're pursuing that. The charges
Okay.
for Karen Aubrey, which is, I believe, the same 29 charges of second degree animal cruelty,
Right.
they are still, she's still being charged with that, and it's going to, her next appearance is January.
Okay. But you know what's disturbing about that? If this woman was the president of the Humane Society at one time, I don't understand how living in this house they can say these people just didn't know how to take care of these animals.
I would agree with that. I would say that if you are, and it
Involved.
kind of goes into that and Rock Castle kind of come together.
Uh-huh.
Probably Rock Castle much worse, uh,
Right.
but it kind of goes to, you know, if you're running a shelter or you have dog, like, there has to be a degree of, you know, how to take care of them.
Exactly.
You know how to clean up after them. You know how to
Right.
make sure that they are living in, sleeping in, laying in clean conditions.
Exactly.
Um, and if you are not, I mean, you can make the case that if you're not doing that, you do that with the understanding that that could cause some other problems,
Mm-hmm. Right.
and that you weren't taking care of them properly.
Yeah. They're threading a very thin thread there, I think, trying.
I can see, like, to me, and you know, people, you know, to me, I would charge him with a felony for every one of those dogs.
Yes.
Then I would make the defense attorney argue that,
Right.
hey, they
Right.
tried to take care of them,
Yeah.
they just were very,
Yeah.
that's not
Let him,
good.
yeah, let him prove that in the courtroom. Yeah.
Now,
Let
now I guess again, we're talking out of not necessarily, you know, maybe not knowing what we're talking about. So if you charged them all with 29 counts of felony torture, and the defense was able to say, hey, my person just wasn't smart enough, capable enough to take care of them, can you then charge them with the secondary animal cruelty, or are you just out? Are you just out of luck here?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure
And
either.
maybe they figure, well, let's get them with something. I'm
Right.
trying to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah, definitely. But again, I'm playing the other side. There are three adults that were living there. The problem was that they were all using meth. So,
Yes,
yeah.
and I did ask about Kenneth Bronner also,
Uh-huh.
and he was deemed not to be living there, just visiting as the
Oh,
boyfriend, and
okay.
thus not really participating in any of the animal stuff.
That's
And
why the animal charges
apparently,
were
he is
brought.
up for some
Other
much
charges. Yeah.
heavier
Yeah.
drug
Yeah.
charges.
He's up for meth charges and
Yeah,
some other.
he's not going anywhere. He'll be in
Yeah.
jail.
Well,
Um, but
that
you run into it was a, a very nice discussion, because this particular person also asked me to help them with the statute a little bit,
oh, well, that's wonderful.
because they felt like the statute called for, a dog had to be injured or hurt in order to be charged with it.
Uh-huh.
And we kind of went down the line. It was a very good conversation, and I
Good.
brought up the case of Woodford Armitage, who,
Uh-huh.
a police officer saw him push the dog out the window, was able to stop him in enough time,
Mm-hmm.
so the dog wasn't hurt, but it was an intentional
That,
act meant
yeah.
to hurt the dog. And this person said, "You're exactly right. I can see where that can happen." Now, we did agree that the vast majority of the cases, a dog or cat is going to be injured or hurt,
Yeah.
because it just, once you do the act, if there's not someone that there to stop you, if you're, forgive all the people that are listening. If you're trying to shoot a dog and you miss 4 or 5 times, and there's a person with you, it's like, hey, I'm calling the cops on you, and the dog
Right.
happens to get away.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
most of the time, it's when an injury or severe injury or death occurs.
That
Um,
they've even responded to
but
that scene.
that they've
Yeah.
even.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely. But
So
I will
that's
be
what.
sure. I'll be sure to follow up now on Amanda Kuntz and get court dates on her since she's now been charged
Let's
with.
go ahead and add Karen Aubrey back to our list. I know we took her off because it was
Right.
secondary animal cruelty, and this is going to be an awful thing to say, but if we were tracking all that, our list would be pages and pages and pages long.
It would. It would.
But let's put her back on there so we can keep an eye on her. Maybe we even show back up there.
Well, and that way, if it's on my list, it reminds me, like I said, to go back because it was like, with the Paul Bruton, they
Uh-huh.
kept telling me on his case that they were waiting for a plea deal, that they kept moving the court date, and he was incarcerated the whole time. So that's kind of why he just kind of, kept giving me a new date, as okay, if there's not a plea deal by this date, we're going to jury trial.
Right.
So, but obviously at some point just recently he took the plea deal. So yeah, but I will follow them. Yeah, putting them on the list helps me to remind me to follow up on them. So I need to make a couple more calls. I am also, Jeff, been following and trying to find out something else about Tammy Arnold in Jefferson County.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
The one with all the cats, and it shows up, but there's no dates. I tried calling Jefferson County the other day. They're a little bit more difficult to get through to. I found that out. So,
Shocking.
but such a shock there, isn't it?
Shocker.
But yeah,
Someone asked if there was an update on Rockcastle County. That was Sue Ann Robinson. Um, no, there was I know Haley had a meeting with Kentucky State Police last week, and some things came out of that. Uh, um, I actually reached out to Haley to see if she had an opportunity to come on and she could explain it all herself, but I didn't hear back from her. So I don't want to. I'd almost kind of rather have her
yeah,
till she was there,
yeah,
if she's willing to come on and talk about it. So we're still looking into Rockcastle. When I spoke with me, Debbie, when we get in front of someone that I think might have an answer, I always ask about this violent offender status. So when I
sure,
had this particular person on the phone earlier today, I asked him about the violent offender status, and he
good,
looked it up, and he said, I'm not really sure it applies because I don't see that particular statute mentioned. Talking about Ethan's law, the KRS, 525
yeah,
mentioned in the statute. So, and I didn't have it with
uh,
me; it wasn't right in front of me. So, I just wanted to hear his opinion on it, and said maybe
yeah,
that's more of a legislator thing. So, we got off the phone, and when I got to a point that I could look up the violent offender status, which is KRS 439.3401,
okay,
if anyone wants to look that up.
uh-huh, okay,
Violent offenders, condition of release, applicability section. So, as used in this section, violent offender means any person who has been convicted of or pled guilty to, and then they list a couple things here. First one is commission or attempted commission of a capital offense, a
okay,
class A felony, or a felony sexual offense as described in KRS chapter 510, a whole different section. So that's first thing. So you're a violent
hmm,
offender if you fall into that category. The next
okay,
definition is you're a violent offender if if you had been convicted or pled guilty to a felony involving the death of the victim or serious physical injury to a victim.
okay.
There's no
There's
statute mentioned there.
okay.
Okay,
And
so I
there
think
goes
that
our word. We got to get the victim part in there again.
herein lies the
Mhm.
problem. If we're just going
Right.
to be just completely honest,
Uh-huh.
most prosecutors in Kentucky probably are going to tell you. I I've been waiting for one to say this to me, but are probably going to tell you victim means person.
Exactly.
That's what they're
Hmm.
going to tell you. This
That's
animal
what they're.
doesn't qualify.
Uh-huh.
My argument would be, if the lawmakers in Kentucky
Hmm.
have said to the state and said to the county attorneys, the Commonwealth attorneys, we consider this act right here a felony torture act, a
Exactly.
felony offense. There's a
Hmm.
victim there.
There
Man, whether
has
you
to
want
be.
to call that a person, a cat, an animal, whatever, there is
Yes,
a victim there, or there would not be a crime.
exactly. Hmm.
Now, if you want to come
Great.
back later in the legislature, I don't want to give anybody ideas, but if you want to come
No.
back later in the legislature and specifically omit this
Uh-huh.
cat dog torture of a cat or a dog felony statute, then do it. But as I read this, I'm
Okay.
going to keep going back to it, and we need to find a Commonwealth attorney that will stand up and fight for this one here.
Yes.
There's not it's not like that there's some other statutes mentioned there, and the Ethan's law is not mentioned there. There's not any statute there. It is,
Okay.
you are a violent offender of any person who's been convicted of or to the uh, pled guilty to the commission of a felony involving the death of the victim or serious physical injury to a
Mm.
victim. And until there's some kind of clarification where Kentucky wants to come out and specifically say, hey, victims aren't
Have
cats or
to be. Yeah.
dogs. And
Uh-huh.
that, I mean, I would think that would kind of make them look pretty
Yeah, that'd be
crappy,
pretty.
right?
And Jeff, you might want to tell people why it's so important that they be charged or they're classified as a violent offender.
Well,
What?
so if you are classified as a violent offender,
Hmm.
several things fall into place. You are
Right.
not eligible for diversion,
Which we've
uh,
had
which we
happen
which we
already.
see a
And
lot of people, a lot of things happen. Yes,
yes.
we have seen diversion in a lot of a lot of different areas. And
Yeah.
if you are actually sentenced to some jail time as a violent offender, as a your first time felony offender, and you get jail time, you have to serve, what was it, 25% of your
Oh,
sentence,
yes. I think that's
and
what
you're
they said.
eligible for parole.
Hmm.
If you're a violent offender, you have to serve 85% of your sentence.
Right. So that's why this is so important. That that these people that are committing these felonies, whether it's a dog, cat, human, whatever, are charged and are classified as violent offender.
Yeah, as I'm reading, I'm kind of looking over here because I'm reading.
That's
Violent offenders must serve 85% of their sentence before being eligible
right.
for parole or early release. And the reason, we're just being honest, the reason people aren't fighting for that is because they don't want to go to court and say that this cat or a dog is a victim.
Right.
That's what it is. But
Yeah.
my point is, if the Kentucky lawmakers say that there is a, now on the books, there is a felony, Class D felony statute
Hmm.
for hurting an animal, there's a victim there.
Definitely.
I
And what
mean,
else would what else would you call it? I mean,
otherwise there would be no statute. There would be no
right.
reason to. If there's not a victim, there's no reason to pass this
Right.
statute.
Why
So
would somebody be incarcerated if there was no victim?
we just need someone who says, you know what, I agree with that, and I'm willing to
Yeah.
make that argument in court. Win or
Right.
lose, I'm willing to make this argument in court.
Just to get it started. Yeah, we need to find somebody that'll do that. Mhm.
So, uh, and as we've talked on here many times, the folks that are going to commit this violent crime, especially against a cat or a dog, where the cat or dog is seriously injured or killed.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, the odds are stacked against them that
Anybody else?
they're going to do it against a person.
Yeah. Anybody else in that household is not safe.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no people, no animals.
No.
So no,
No.
we had a great conversation today, but I'm still not. Uh, I still don't think that there is a good answer because there was no uh, distinction there, uh,
Uh-huh.
and nor should there be. I'm not
Right.
saying there should not be a distinction. You have a felony statute on the books where
Mhm.
there's a victim, and they should be put into the felony statute. So I'm going to
Exactly.
I'm going to just keep harping on that one until.
Yeah. Well, when we talked to the gentleman, your friend at the courthouse in Jefferson County,
Uh-huh.
didn't he say something about, we're fighting an uphill battle because of the way people look at
Yeah.
across the state.
Yeah.
They look at a dog or a cat as property.
Yeah.
So
And
that,
in Kentucky, they are considered property. But
yes,
there's is there do you consider, okay, so if someone commits a violent a felony crime against against a, I don't know, I guess you have to pick an amount of money that you've damaged that makes it a
yeah, but
felony or a
being serious,
misdemeanor. Um,
exactly.
so you wouldn't consider that a torture or felon
No,
or
no, no.
violent offense.
I
There,
think Ethan's law is
people have to realize, and if you're standing up to make this argument, and I'd love to help someone with this, like there's a distinction between your car and
definitely,
your dog
uh-huh,
or cat. And I think
right.
the lawmakers in Frankfurt, by passing this felony statute, have made that distinction.
I
I can
agree.
go outside with my baseball bat and beat up my car as my
And
property.
nobody's going to
It's not
charge you
a
with
crime,
a felony.
right? It's my property. I can do it. It's my.
Exactly.
If I go out and beat the crap out of my dog or my cat with a baseball bat, Kentucky law has said that is a crime. There
Uh-huh.
has to be a victim there for it to be a crime. I
Exactly. I
mean,
agree.
the other proves to you this car is my property, but it's not a crime. I can do whatever I want to it,
Uh-huh.
but
Right.
I can't with a dog or a cat.
Yeah.
So there's a victim there. So they
Yeah.
just need to make sure we just got to find. We just need to
Yeah.
find someone with the courage to stand up and say,
And argue it. Yeah.
"Let's keep
And
fighting now."
yeah, because I'm Jeff, it's moving, we're moving along. The needle is moving a little as we keep going. It started out that we couldn't get anybody to charge Ethan's law. Then it was like, okay, they started charging, but then it was only if the dog or cat died did they seem to think it was applicable.
Mm-hmm.
And now at least we're getting somewhere, a few cases where, example is Warren County with the Ethan case. That gentleman was charged with torture and the dog survived. So we're moving, we just keep moving it along. So the next thing, like you said, is to get them to recognize the fact that the dog or the cat is a victim, so
Yeah,
that they can be charged or classified as a violent offender. It's important. We got to keep
yeah.
them incarcerated. Yeah,
Keep them in jail as long as you can, because
right.
they're in jail. The longer they're in jail, the safer. That's just a few years that the
Yeah.
community is safer.
And as I've called on some of these people, it's been a kind of an eye-opening experience in a way, because these kind of people are out there. But for somebody, for a clerk to say, now wait a minute, I've got to look through pages and pages on this person with all of their offenses, and thrown into that is torture. It is in there with everything else that they
Yeah.
have done. And most of these cases, these people have lots of stuff in the background that is they have already committed. So
It's very interesting that you sit back and you think, okay, are there the system is the system set up to help, or is the
um,
system just set up to continually punish these people over and over? Are there just bad people out there? I mean, you sit around
I,
and think about that. But we talked about this system the other day. I don't understand it. We could talk. We'd have
no,
a whole podcast about that. To me, there should be a system anywhere in Kentucky. They should, first of all, should all in Kentucky, they should all use the same system. But
yeah, I
you should
agree.
be able to at the clerk's office. The
Uh-huh.
clerk should be able to type in a case number, and a chronological order of everything that's happened in that case should just pop right there, and you should just
Right.
be easily be able to look at it. Or if
Well,
you wanted to look it up by person, Then you
Mm.
look it up by person and you get all this crap because most of them have a bunch of stuff, but it's not like that.
No, it's not.
I mean,
I,
they look up the case and everything with that person pops up, and you got to dig through it, and
they
you
have
and
to,
got
yes.
they've got other charges that's all mixed in there together,
Uh,
and it's so
yeah.
hard to. I mean, it's hard for the people that are looking it up
Yes.
to
I
make
mean, I've
heads or
been
tails of it.
And I think it's funny. I know I told you the other day, I've become quite the name dropper because soon as I talk to a county clerk and I start asking, of course, I tell them I'm wanting information on a particular case. And then I'll say something about Ethan and Jeff or, Ethan's law. And immediately I would say 9 out of 10 cases, the clerk becomes much more helpful
Oh,
and
well,
they're
that's good.
ready to look because they know the law, they know the importance of the law. I had a lady the other day that helped me for probably 20 minutes looking through, one of the felon's files to make sure that he was part of his sentence was for the torture. So, because I wanted to be sure that part of that, he was sentenced, she knew that, she knew, but to find out for sure that torture was what he was also charged with. So, yeah.
And if it's hard for them to
Yeah,
weeds
exactly.
get through all the weeds and find the right information, they can't expect it to be easy for anybody else.
No, no, because I mean, that's what they do. And she still was like, okay, let me look. Well, let me read. Let me look some more.
It's
So
it's
yeah,
frustrating. I've said this multiple times. That CourtNet stuff, you can get on CourtNet and find out a lot of good information, but uh, if it is public knowledge
it should be
that
easier.
that if I can drive 3 hours someplace and walk up to the county clerk's office and get information because it's public information, I should be able to just look up online and get it.
Yes, exactly. Of course, I keep looking for other ways to get information. Like I said, I happen across that one now that tells me anybody that now we have incarcerated, I can find now where they are incarcerated. I found that website and what their sentence is and how long, when their first parole date is and that kind of information. But we just
Heather
keep
says
it.
if she was a criminal, she wouldn't want you looking for her.
Who said that?
Heather.
Oh,
Although I will say this, if you don't want like your social media, I don't know. Heather can do some investigation too.
yeah, I was going to say she's pretty.
She's looked into a couple things for us, and
Yeah,
she can dive pretty deep.
yeah, she can go down that rabbit hole.
All right. So, do we got any more updates? Anybody else who wanted to bring up while we were on here?
Let's see. I don't think I did.
Tomorrow we're
Uh,
going to go to Christian County for Antonio
yes,
Attaway got moved, but we're going there for
Martin Hartwig,
Martin Hartwig.
who pled. Yes, and he's the one that had the dog that peed on the couch.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And
yeah.
he got mad.
And you're going to try to file something
Yeah, so
while
we got a motion to file in a different case tomorrow, and so we'll see how that works out.
yeah,
Again, that might be one that you get turned down 100 times, but
right.
as Thomas Edison said, that's just 99 times I figured out how not to make a light bulb.
Oh, huh.
So
I like that. That's a good attitude.
was
And
this
there
good
are,
work?
just for people's info too, like next week, there are Noah Driver comes up, Megan Edwin. We got Austin Sykes. David Schneider is finally coming up, I think, for sentencing.
Oh yeah, yep.
Demetrius Hebert is finally up in Jefferson County. Let's see. And Woodford Armitage, but that sadly was dropped to a cruelty charge.
Now I'm back to the day the day we
Yeah,
went
the
down
day
there.
we were there.
I was so angry about that, and we got down there and met Woodford Armitage, and then I was like, okay, this
Yeah,
dude needs some help,
yeah.
and so
Well,
he had an evaluation. Obviously, as he told us, he'd had another evaluation, and he was like, I beat that.
well, they know he knows how to do it. He's a
Yeah.
very intelligent man. It's
So
not, yeah.
now I'm back to being angry again because I wanted him to look into it, get him some help. and now they've just dropped it to second-degree animal cruelty when you have a police report of a
Yes.
sheriff that says he he
Witnessed. Yeah.
he witnessed them doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's
So
next week too, huh?
yeah. Yep. It's a fun packed week next week. But
Excited.
at least we've got a couple more that are getting closer. We've got a couple more coming up for sentencing. So that's good. So we'll
Yep,
just,
that's good. So
yeah.
reach out to, let's see, get online. I've got, if you want to be the new home for Ethan,
Oh, I know. That's gorgeous. Look how the paint colors change. Yeah, it
Ethan
looks,
artwork.
uh-huh.
So you can get online, get your opportunities for that. There are 2 for 5, 4 for 10, 6 for blah blah
Yeah,
blah. Uh,
you've got a special going on here.
yeah, it's got a big special going on. We have October the 19th. We have Sunday, October 19th at the Bob Hook Chevrolet Incorporated and Sports Drome Speedway, a car show benefiting Ethan Almighty's Blessings. Sunday, October 19th, 2025. The cars and the car show are going to be out on the track. It's going to be very, very cool.
Yeah.
What else we have going on? So many fun things.
You're going to be at the Bark and, what is that? Bark and Wine?
Bark and Wine on October the 12th, I think that is.
I think it is too. And that's for Henry and Trimble County, isn't it?
Yep.
So
Let me
that's
see. Let me
for
pull that up here.
so shouts out to Heather out there of the animal control yeah.
Yes. Bark and Wine is October the 12th. Richwood on the River from 2 to 6. There's going to be a lot of food trucks there. Going to be a good time.
Yeah.
So we'll be down. I'm just looking at all these different cool little promotions they made for it. So that's October the 12th.
They've really
Also,
been promoting. They've done a really good job promoting. I've seen a lot of stuff too from them. So
also got a message today about there's KET puts on a Be My Neighbor Day, and that is
oh,
Sunday, September 28th at Tom Sawyer Park from 12 to 3. So make
okay.
sure to check that out. We'll be there. I need to get back with them, and we'll be there for that.
Oh, that reminds me of Mr. Rogers. Nobody remembers Mr. Rogers probably, but I know my son certainly liked Mr. Rogers.
There was there was a movie that came out not too long ago, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So okay. Yes. Tom Cruise. Not Tom Cruise. Tom Hanks
Tom Hanks, yeah.
was was Mr. Rogers.
Mm.
So okay. So that's September the 28th. That's cool.
Yep, and everyone still, you have a week left to vote for the
Oh
Henry
yeah.
Awards.
Vote.
Go to AmericanHumane.org. Vote for one dog in each category each day. We may have, unfortunately, we may have reached the end of
Yeah.
our limit of getting folks on. Wait a minute, I got to figure out how to do this right. We may. I'd reached out to. We've reached out to every single person,
Right.
but I
Hmm.
was hoping to get one more of the. I had some good information. One more of the military dogs on, but I have not heard back. So
But it'll be really fun to see if any of the ones we talked to end up in the top 5, and
yeah,
then
that would be
hopefully
exciting.
we can have them back on. So that'll be good.
Yeah, so I think they are. I think it said somewhere around
First,
October the 4th or so, 4th
okay,
or 5th. The
okay,
names will be released publicly, and when they get a category winner, I'd love to have each one of the category
yeah,
winners
that
back
would
on
be,
to talk about how exciting it is to.
yeah,
They're going to have folks coming to their town to make videos, and then they'll be headed to West Palm Beach for the gala.
right,
Be a fun time. So,
yeah, sounds good.
well, it's
Okay,
good to have you back from Gatlinburg.
yeah, it's it's good to be home, sort of. At least I'm not being made to ride a horse.
there, there you go. You survived it.
I did, and actually I enjoyed it, so it was all good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a good week. So,
Well,
we'll,
hopefully, people learned some things today, and we try to keep
yeah,
everyone up to date as much as we can with all the information. So thanks for coming on, and thanks for
Yeah,
collecting all the
anytime.
data. And
And
hope
off to court we go tomorrow. So
off
we'll
the
see.
court. Yep.
Yep.
Should be a good
So,
time. All right. Thanks, Debbie.
all right. All
Talk to
right.
everybody soon.
Okay.